It's 5:30, so we'll call to order this meeting for Monday, April 25th. Jordan, would you go ahead and start us off with a roll call, please?
Councilmember Remley.
Here. Present.
Lunsman.
Present.
Reif.
Present.
Johnson. Reinbold.
Present.
Langer. Rux.
Present.
Ronayne. Mayor Shawneman.
Present. Please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Not aware of any adjustments to the agenda, so I would take a motion to approve it as printed.
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Lunsman, a second from Councilman Brooks. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion does carry. We do have one change, however, to the official minutes that were included. We've got, I believe you were all emailed, you've got a yellow highlighted section. I'm going to read it aloud for the audience because it's thrilling information. I'll start at the first complete sentence. Bid for high-pressure sewer cleaner and vacuum extractor for Public Works Department Utility Division. City Engineer Bob Zine requests approval to award the bid for high-pressure sewer cleaner and vacuum extractor for Public Works Utility Division flexible pipe tool in the amount of $316,796, as well as to declare surplus a 2014 pressure sewer cleaner and vacuum extractor for the trade in on flexible pipe tool. The motion was Ronayne, second Johnson, to award the bid in the amount of $316,796 and to declare the surplus, the 2014 high-pressure sewer cleaner and vacuum extractor for trade in on that tool. Can I get a motion to approve with those amendments, please?
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Reinbold and a second from Councilman Rux. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, nay. Motion does carry. Next, we've got our open forum, but I didn't see anyone signed up to speak, so we'll move along to our consent calendar, where we've got 5 items of routine city business, including licenses, plats, a request for an event permit, and then to accept some minutes, as well as an Arbor Day proclamation to put on file. Can I get a motion to approve those 5 items, please?
So moved.
Second.
Motion, Councilman Rux, second, Councilman Reinbold. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion does carry. Move along to our old business, where we've got the possible second reading and final adoption of ordinance 220406, which prohibits chronic nuisances and criminal activity. Public nuisances passed unanimously last week. Ron, anything on that?
No, Mr. Mayor, my office has received no comments on the second reading.
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Reif and a second from Councilman Remley. Anyone on the council? Last words on this one? Jordan, go ahead with a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Ronayne. Remley.
Aye.
Lunsman.
Aye.
Reif.
Aye.
Johnson. Reinbold.
Aye.
Langer. Rux.
Aye.
Mayor Shawneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Second, we've got a possible second reading and final adoption of an ordinance labeled 220407, which tackles alcoholic beverages in parks and recreational facilities. Ron, anything on that?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, thank you. Last Thursday, there was a work session conducted by the Park Board regarding the alcohol policy, and during that discussion, it was determined that the council should delete the references to dog parks in an area where alcohol would be prohibited. So I would ask that, along with a motion to approve, there be a motion to amend section 36-62 to delete dog parks and to renumber the subsections thereafter. This would not be a substantial alteration to the substance of the ordinance.
Move approval with removing dog parks and then changing of the language as recommended by the city attorney.
Second.
So I've got a motion from Councilman Rux and a second from Councilman Remley, which would be for the second reading approval with an insubstantial change involving 36.30 or 62, which would remove dog parks. Does anyone have anything to say about that? Want to remove it from the swimming pool? No? All right. Then Jordan, go ahead with a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Rux,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Rife,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. We'll move along to our new business section where we've got the public hearing and possible first reading of a zoning ordinance, which is number 220401, which modifies the procedure to amend Chapter 60 zoning. Ron, what can you tell us about that amendment?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have provided a council action request that sets out the three changes to the existing process for amending the zoning ordinance. First has to do with eliminating a 3-week publication notice requirement and simply going with the requirement in the manner required by law. The second change would be to adjust 60-287 to conform with SDCL Section 11-4-9. And the last would be to adjust 60-288 to conform with State Law 11-4-5. Again, these were all prompted by changes to state law and would just bring the process to amend Chapter 60 in line with state law. Council recommends approval.
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a first from Reinbold and a second from Rux. And what is the length of the wait on the state law there, Ron?
The,
So it had been 3 weeks with ours. Is it
it
shorter?
would be
with
10
it?
days. It
10
would
days.
require 10 days notice.
Any other questions from the council on that? A little bit of house cleaning work for us here today. Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote on the first reading, please?
Councilmember Remley,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Rife,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Rux,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got our public hearing and possible first reading of zoning ordinance 220402, which transfers the planning commission to Chapter 60 zoning. Ron, what can you tell us about that?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Chapter 2 administration is currently the place where Planning and Zoning Commission is established. In looking at Chapter 60, we see that there is a provision there for the establishment of the Board of Zoning Adjustment. In looking at Chapter 2, there was also an appeal section that was out of order. So what this ordinance does is it moves all of Planning and Zoning Commission into Chapter 60 zoning and creates a new division for both, separate divisions for both the Planning Commission and the Zoning Board. Staff recommends approval.
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Remley and a second from Councilman Rux, and that's primarily housekeeping, right? The
Correct.
language that's being changed, and nothing procedurally with
No.
those zoning practices will change as a result of this ordinance.
Correct. What it does is allows a person to go to the zoning chapter for a zoning issue and see everything zoning is now in that chapter, including the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Understood. Brett, good change. Jordan, give us a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Rux,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Rife,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got the public hearing, possible first reading of ordinance 220403, which rezones property described as ADC 2019-1 for subdivision of the city of Aberdeen, the northeast quarter of section 16 at 15th p.m. Brown County SD at 4811 Maloney, northeast from I-2 to M District. Brett, what can you tell us about that change?
In essence, what we're doing is we have a drainage lot that's owned by the city, and we're just rezoning it to municipal to continue the city use as a drainage lot. Staff and Planning Commission recommend approval.
Move approval.
Second.
A motion from Councilman Rux and a second from Councilman Rife. Any questions for Planning and Zoning Director Brett Bill? Otherwise, Jordan, give me a roll call vote on this first reading, please.
Councilmember Remley,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Rife,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Rux,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got our public hearing and possible first reading of ordinance 220404, which also rezones a property described as a wetland lot A and wetland lot B at the Aberdeen Industrial Park East addition to Aberdeen at 4705 and 4710 Capitol Avenue from I-2 to M. And it sounds like it was much of the same story for this one, right, Brett?
Exactly the same. It's just the continuation of the drainage area as it heads south.
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Reinbold and a second from Councilman Rux. Does anyone from the council have anything to say? Yeah, I imagine no one from the audience. All right, then Jordan, would you give me a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Rux,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Reif,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Then we've got a public hearing and possible first reading of ordinance 220405 to rezone property described as Lot 1, Safeguard ADC subdivision in Aberdeen, northeast quarter section of 17, which is at 2830 Industrial Avenue Northeast from I-22M. Brett, anything special about this one or much the same as the others?
Well, this one isn't a drainage lot, but it's a lot that the city currently uses and is a lease site for a cell tower. Staff and Planning Commission recommend approval of the petition to rezone.
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Lunsman and a second from Councilman Rux. Any questions on this one? All right, then Jordan would give me a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Remley,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Reif,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Rux,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got our public hearing and possible approval or denial of Resolution 220402R, which annexes certain property in the city limits commencing at southeast property corner, Lot 2, Prairie's Edge, 7th Edition. Point of beginning. Thence, and all this takes place at 2618 Waterview Drive. And Brett, it looked like it was just kind of a continuation of a home's yard.
Yeah, they end up purchasing some property that was outside city limits, and in order to replat that into what they own, they annex that piece in. Basically, it was a cleanup of the property. Staff recommends approval.
But it'll just continue to be their yard. I mean, it'll just
Yes,
extend that
it's just
backyard
an
of that home.
extension of their yard now. They platted it into one lot.
Move approval.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Rux and a second from Councilman Lunsman. Does anyone have any questions about this annexation to the city? All right, then Jordan, would you give me a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Rux,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Reif,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got the presentation of quarterly activities report for the Aberdeen Downtown Association. Shelley Westerhire, the executive director of the ADA, is here to join us, and it looks like she's passing out some material. Shelley, have yourself a seat, and then when you sit, make sure that the little green light is on the microphone so everyone in the audience can hear you. Perfect.
Oh,
The floor
now
is
it
yours.
looks like it's on. Well, first off, I'm Shelley with the Aberdeen Downtown Association. Thank you for allowing us to come and have a quick presentation to you about all things downtown and what we've been up to. We recently went through a strategic plan, and so I just want to do a kind of a brief little overview and take a minute on some of the findings that we had there regarding our mission and purpose. With that overview, the mission that we have, we continue to stick with, which is to create vitality in the heart of the hub city. But when you're looking at that, you know, most people, they see a mission statement and they want to know what's the purpose. And so we dove a little bit into that. And with the purpose, recently what we were determining in that strategic plan is we needed to fine tune some of our strategic priorities. And in doing that, we came up with the list that you see right here. Of course, first and foremost is our advocacy and being an advocate for business. And it's something really special about downtown because when a business comes down there, they instantly have the Downtown Association to help promote, collaborate, those kind of things, introduce them to different people. We have a networking group, and they can become part of what's called our retailers group. And that's something that we've added a little bit new life to, which I'll talk about here in a second. We create experiences that drive traffic. That was still a big priority for us. We have signature events that really draw a crowd, and we pride ourselves on the fact that it really is for all ages. Our summer concert series, on average, we've had about 2,500 people in attendance for each one of those. Our wine walk this past year had a record attendance. We were up 16% from our previous record. So that was a nice bump for us this year. Trick or Treat on Main Street. I don't know if any of you have ever wandered down Main Street on that day, but it's filled. And it's one of the most fun things that I like to see is just the hundreds of kiddos and families that take to downtown, and they find that as a safe environment. Sizzlin' Summer Nights. This has been a successful weekend event. A few years back, we changed it into a Friday and a Saturday event. This is a great opportunity for us to refill that promotional fund bucket. We can put heads in beds for a couple nights, and we're continuing to increase what we do on Saturday mornings, as well as in the afternoon, so that again, we get a whole weekend out of individuals that come from far away. We launched our first Fridays last June, and we've tweaked those just a little bit. We found that the best thing for the community and the best thing for the businesses was for us to take it off of a Friday and put it on a Thursday. Just having a little bit more time, I guess, at the beginning of the month as well, we are moving it to third Thursdays. So kind of the same concept. We have host businesses now that we are setting up a calendar with. We just had one this past week in Head Over Heels, had a great turnout there, great response from the community. All the other businesses down there also participate. They rally around that host for the month. And we're really excited about what that's got to bring here in the future, as well as our music, which will start back up on the plaza here in May. And that's just a few things that the Downtown Association executes ourselves. Obviously, one of our big things is to make sure that we are a good host and that people look at us as a good host, and so that we can bring different events downtown, whether it be on the plaza, on Main Street, in a building, whatever it might be. Attraction and access was another one of our priorities, and obviously that goes into physical improvements. Maintenance of everything is a priority, and when you're talking about 10 years of streetscape and all the elements that we have in where we live, we don't live here for weather, we live here for people. So we got to take care of that, and that's one of the things that we've determined. We're getting a maintenance schedule put together for that, so that we can continue to make it, nice downtown and attractive for people who want to spend time. Infrastructure and capacity building being another. Again, it's incredibly important to keep partnerships and collaborations not only strong, but creating new ones. And so that is another one. And it's not just between ourselves and others. It's between and amongst businesses. We're building it with the community as well. And so with membership that we have, we build value with that. And so we're doing it within the community as well as within just businesses and businesses amongst themselves and with us as a downtown association. And then downtown living has been something that has been on our priority list. Obviously, we've talked to you before a little bit about that, but millennials and baby boomers, there's the ones that want to live down here. And convenience and experiences and not having to drive. Those are the things that want them down here. And so that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make things convenient. We're trying to give them experiences. And so downtown living is going to continue to be one of our priorities there. The areas of support that we receive is fourfold here. Memberships, they continue to be one of, like I said, our top priorities. Each member, I handed out our membership rack card. That kind of tells you some of the benefits that members receive for being a member of the Downtown Association. But in all honesty, we have several, a pretty high percentage of individuals and businesses that are members because they believe in what we do. They may not get the benefit of some of the things that the other businesses do, but they believe in the Downtown Association, what we do and what we do for the community, and that's the way that they support us. Obviously, through sponsorships, our events are free and open to the public, and so they are mission makers and not money makers, and we've said that over and over, and we have some amazing sponsors that we continue to search for new ones, but we're also very grateful for those who have supported us and continue to support our efforts. The promotional fund that you guys allocate for us each year, obviously, we are grateful for that. We utilize that in promotion of all things downtown, businesses, attracting people, our events, everything there. That's something that we're very fortunate to receive, and we appreciate your support in that. The assessment tax is the other one, and that basically is a tax on the first floor square footage, and that supports physical improvements. So that's one that we're using to do some of those physical improvements that you'll see with the streetscape. And so what does all that do? in the past few years, we've continued to increase energy and focus in downtown. The number of times that you've seen seen a newspaper article or heard a radio ad with downtown in it has really been heartwarming. We work hard to lay a great foundation that becomes attractive and it's vibrant. And that, again, just goes directly towards our mission. We're working to make downtown the place to be. And I think we've been pretty successful at that because we've attracted some great new retail as well as new ownership. So that shows confidence in what we're doing. It's also created new life for things. Like I mentioned before, our retailers group is a monthly meeting of all the retailers that get together. We brainstorm, we collaborate, we network, we figure out how best to serve the community through their businesses. We also have a Start Hub group. We do the same thing for entrepreneurs. We are a resource. We meet twice a month, a group of us. Anybody's welcome. And, we help support entrepreneurs, people who are looking to get started, maybe expand, anything like that. So we've got some new life in those things and some really good support with that. Drinks and dining, obviously we've got, here we go. That must not have gone. Drinks and dining, we obviously have people in that industry as well that has found confidence in what we do because we're attracting new restaurants as well as new ownership. We have a focus on the surrounding communities and how can we make downtown a destination. We are not a pass-through town, and that's what we want to make sure that people know. We are a stop. We should be a stop. And making downtown that for these smaller towns, people are going to go to Sioux Falls. They're going to go to Minneapolis. Why should they stop in downtown Aberdeen? That's what we're trying to, that's what we're trying to make sure that they see the value in what we have here. We're also looking with improvements, like I spoke about with our streetscape and maintenance investment. We have recently launched a revolving loan fund for businesses and building owners in the bid. What we're trying to do is just help improve the attractiveness of our downtown and obviously stimulate a little bit of personal investment from these building owners and business owners. How can we help? How can we break down any barriers they might have, whether it be for a canopy or a sign or something with their front facade, whatever it might be. We've got a group in place, a committee that takes those applications in, reviews them. We have the help of the Aberdeen Development Corporation to facilitate some of this and help us with some matching funds. That's not what we do, that's what they do. And so we appreciate their help in moving us forward with that as well. And then we have our two-way Main Street. The support from that, first off, let me say thank you to all of you, Mayor Schoeneman, Mr. Gao, for all that you have done to help facilitate that and the efforts for us to look at moving forward with it. Is it something that's good for our community? And so with that traffic survey that's happening, we appreciate that. We're excited to hear what the results are, but we're hearing great things from the community. I'm constantly getting asked, are we doing this? Are we not? What's going on? So it's great to see the steps that are in place and what's happening with that, and we really do appreciate your support in that. We're more than just Main Street. That's the one thing that I think a lot of people sometimes find hard to see. We're 32 blocks. We're 11 parking lots, 886 parking spots. We got, obviously, like I mentioned, millions in streetscape. We promote through our website, social media platforms, and obviously my boots on the ground to promote retail, restaurants, service professionals, everything that's downtown. We have a very diverse downtown. The amount of service professionals, nonprofits, obviously civic agencies, things like that, it's really unique and something that I truly love about it. And we're an advocate, like I mentioned before, for small business, entrepreneurs, and any of the community needs. You get me. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but again, once somebody comes downtown, they have an advocate, not only in myself, but our entire board, which is made up of individuals who are very, I'm passionate about our board. They're amazing. They give a lot. They do a lot for our community. Sorry. They, one thing we found though was some community needs. We looked at everything and we found there's still some community needs through some surveys and things like that that we were looking at. And one thing that we heard loud and clear and continue to hear is the potential of a bark park and some public restrooms in downtown Aberdeen. We have been looking at a few different locations and entertaining a few different opportunities that we may have for something like this. We're excited about some of these future projects, collaborative efforts that it brings about. So we're really excited about that. Why downtown? A lot of people ask, you hear a lot about why downtowns are important, but it truly makes an entire community stronger. I've always used the analogy that if you drop something, it's kind of like in a pond, and if you drop it in downtown, the financial and human capital that's dropped in the downtown in Aberdeen downtown just kind of ripples out to the entire community, and that's the way it is across the nation. Downtown is important. We have a unique role in the economic and social development, and downtowns create a mass of activities, whether it's commercial, cultural, or civic. It's just very unique, and we're economic drivers for the community. And so those are just a few things in why we feel it's important to invest in downtown. So some of the changes that we were excited to see in 2021, obviously, like I mentioned, new businesses, new retail, an amazing plaza that allows for us several different opportunities all year long to have activities, promote, decorate, as well as downtown Main Street, to bring that environment and that festivity that we want people to enjoy all year round. Businesses and infrastructure, those things came, and so did the people. We had, like I said, record numbers. The traffic just walking in and out of stores, people that I've talked to, we had some really good numbers rolling down the streets of downtown Aberdeen. And so what awaits? What awaits us? We're in the process and looking forward to more visual changes and improvements. We've got some great opportunities coming up and in hands right now to aid new building owners and business owners. We've got some fresh ones that we're enjoying supporting right now, and we're looking forward to new ones coming. Like I said, improving the streetscapes, parking lots, annual maintenance, and just moving that momentum that we've already created in downtown Aberdeen forward, keeping that buzz going. That's just one of the things that's going to continue to keep us vibrant and doing our mission. And honestly, it's always changing. So who really knows what may pop up, but we're excited with what is happening in downtown Aberdeen. So that's a little
Well, thank you,
nugget.
Shelley. Has anyone got any questions for Shelley on this one? It's a good presentation. Josh, what have you got?
Shelley, you talked about membership in the Downtown Association. I'm curious over the last couple of years if the percentage of members has increased.
Yes,
Could you talk about that?
yep. Actually, right now we are on track to increase our membership 18%. So our year starts in February. We always get off that January. Our year for membership starts in February, and then where we are right now with what we've gotten in, what we've gotten for new members, we're on track for that increase by the end of next January.
You had mentioned a couple of times about the maintenance schedule for the streetscape. What type of things will hopefully put it back into place? Or
Absolutely. So we're starting with a lot of like the bases on the light poles and bike racks, trash cans, things like that need to be sandblasted and recoated and redone. Some of them actually just completely need to be replaced. And so looking at stuff like that, we've been talking a few times with Robin regarding some of the issues that might be out there regarding sidewalks, drainage issues, things like that within the parking lots. So always have something on the docket for that. But those mostly are the things that we're looking at, is those type of things that are the maintenance and the beautification efforts down there.
And then the other thing that you had mentioned that kind of caught my ear a little bit was on the new revolving loan fund, which I had caught some wind of. You said that there was a matching opportunity. How does that work?
Well, there isn't a matching opportunity right now, but the Aberdeen Development Corporation is searching for those. So whenever we get one application in, they are digging into where else can we find more money.
I got it.
Yep, through any of their channels and resources that are out there.
Sounds good. Thanks, Shelley. Clint, what have you got?
Just a few things is, you talked a lot about good numbers, but we have no numbers. Like how many people attended the retailers kickoff event
Mhm.
on the 17th, what were your first Friday attendance is like, what
Yep.
were the sales increases? If you have a Facebook post, how many impressions? The CVB comes in, in the chamber, they have all this
Okay,
information where it seemed like I want to know how our retailers are doing, how many
Absolutely.
businesses started, how many may have closed,
absolutely.
how many empty storefronts do we have?
Yep,
Which of course is a little tough right now because, there's several projects just starting. But it is one of those where there's really no numbers to really give us any information on
Right.
what the state of
Right.
things are downtown.
right. And we have those numbers, and I'd be more than happy to pull them all together and get them to you guys.
Yep.
I can pull together several of those things. Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Shelley. Appreciate the presentation.
You bet. Well, on behalf of the Downtown Association Board and me personally, I know a few of you are not going to be in these seats come July, so I just wanted to personally thank you for your time and your dedication to what you've done for our community. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. With that, we will move along to our review and approval of our claims and payroll. We've got the bills list for this week, April 25th, and the payroll for the period of April 10th through the 23rd, as well as the associated taxes that go with paying people. Can I get a motion to make those payments, please?
Move approval.
Second.
The motion from Councilman Rux and a second from Councilman Rife. Any questions on any of these? Jordan, please roll call vote.
Councilmember Remley.
Aye.
Lunsman.
Aye.
Rife.
Aye.
Reinbold.
Aye.
Rux.
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got our city manager's report. Joe?
Yes, thank you. A few things to note. First, in front of you on your table tonight, you found the fire department annual report that the chief left you. Some good, interesting reading material there. Also, the chamber will be hosting a candidate forum Thursday at the library at 5:30 for all the city council candidates. A good public opportunity there for the public to be involved in that. And then always the exciting time of the April employee milestones. We had 2 this month. Both of them were 5-year marks, so that's kind of early on in their careers, and we're happy to have them. Eric Miller in planning and zoning, and Jeff Stoltenberg in the fire and rescue department. So again, congratulations and thanks to both of them. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Joe, and thanks to those employees noted. Appreciate your service to the city. Anything before we move to adjourn this meeting?
I got something real quick.
Go ahead, Josh. What have you got?
Are we gonna have a chance to ask Joel questions on this report?
We can.
I'm just curious, John. I'm looking through the reports on the fire side, and false alarm and false calls that just jumped out at me at 23%. Is that typical? 23% are false alarms?
That's what we've been averaging the last few years. We've tried to curb that by implementing some callback to the occupants that we go to multiple times. We meet with the owners of the occupancy and to work with them to see if it's just a chance to upgrade their system as far as a different placement of a smoke detector, so it's not close to where you might open a door and dust would come and set it off. Or if it's in a cooking facility, we don't want to have a smoke detector there. We'll change it out with a heat detector. It's things like that we're trying to work towards and hopefully get those numbers to lower.
Sure.
But
Alright.
that is average.
Okay.
Joe, we had at one point passed an ordinance which would allow for the city to subject these people to fines for numerous false alarm activities within the same structure, the same equipment. Is that
Correct.
something that's been pursued? Do you know?
Yes, we've been actively doing that. There's probably only been 2 that we've actually asked or had to implement that with, and the corrective actions have been made.
And is that, I guess, ultimately dealt to or caused a lower number of those false alarms, or not really noticeable?
The previous year, 2020, is when we activated that, and we started out good. We had lowered it to, I believe, 17%, but now in 2021, We've seen a little increase in that again.
Thank you very much, Joel. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
I have something on it for Joel. It's all good. The lights and sirens average response time of
Yes.
about 5.5 minutes. That's
Correct.
pretty awesome.
Yep.
So to get anywhere in Aberdeen in 5.5 minutes is good. So
Thank you.
keep up the good work.
Appreciate that.
I had a random stranger break into my vehicle the other day, and then he went on to pull the fire alarm at the Sherman Apartments, and the fire department was right there. Matter of moments. It was an incredible response. But it's real close there. So anyhow, with that, I would take a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
A motion from Clint Rux, second from Justin Reinbold. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, nay. Motion does carry. Thank you all very much. Have a great evening.